People need people who listen.
People need people, and then people need people that listen, and then people need people that listen and do something.
Lazy lover, no need to be scared. I've got the answers to your disrepair.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a philanthropist and a movie director. But what I realized is that I wanted to help people back then, way back in those days.
I know you're deceived. Why don't we just stay right here?
My job is to have relationships with the people that I work with and that I work for. The difference between values and strengths, as well as the difference between strengths and skills. And so I work for 700 plus people. I work with 700 plus people. I have a wonderful team that also services 700 plus people. Any other relationships? There's a ton, but I'd love to just hear some of them between skill, strength, values.
I put home for values because I think that, like, you talk about this a lot, that you want everyone to feel, when they come to work, feel like they're in a place that's comfortable for them, a safe space. Like, home, I feel like, is like a word that means a lot of these things. Like, it means empathy, it means inclusion, it means trust. Like, you go home and that's where you're safe. So
Yeah.
like, I feel like we have a responsibility to like create a home here for people.
Yeah, I 1000% agree. You know, like what D-Rock was asking me today, like what my morning routine is, and so I was telling him about it, which is probably boring to you guys, so I won't tell you about it. But a lot of the times I prep myself. I might, if I'm talking to my best friend on the phone or if I'm listening to music, I'm prepping myself to literally make space so that we can make people feel safe, physically and psychologically safe every single day to be their best selves. That's it. That is like my number one mission. That's what Sam was talking about in terms of making people feel at home or creating a home for 600, 700 people. But what that means to me is to have belief in 700 plus people. No matter what happens, I think the belief in people and understanding that people are choosing to be at Vayner for a very specific reason. They could go to any of the other agencies, which are wonderful, but people choose to come here, I truly believe, because of the culture and because of the exceptional work that we've been doing. The past 20 years that I've spent in agency life has taught me how to be agile, taught me how to embrace change and risk, and it's taught me how to seek knowledge from all people and arenas. It's taught me how to read a room and stay ahead of the curve and on the right side of history rather than paddling against the current. So when I say, like, how do we light people up? This is a big question for us because we are serving other people and we work for the greater. This is my question to myself every single day, which is, how do I light you guys up? You know, I have something up in my room right now which says, how do you light people up? And I keep it there for a reason. I keep it there to see how many people look at that whiteboard when they come in. And does that inspire them? So I'd like to think I light people up all day. If I do it half a day, I'm lucky, right? I believe Gary lights people up all day. I believe you light people up all day. I want to know how many people look at that whiteboard and think, how can I light someone else's day up? How can I light them up? It's not all about me. How can I light someone else's day up? That's what we do. I know what my purpose is every single day when I come into work, and I know what my purpose is in life. So I can use all of that passion to say, like, hey, Justin, what do you want to, like, come on, what do you want to do? Let's do this. You know what I mean? Like, Jo Beth, what do you want to own?
I think the fact that she trusts me and the team to do what she knows that we'll do the best job ever at is inspiring for me to go out and kill it every day.
We are a family, and beyond a family, we are friends. There's such a camaraderie here. And to come into the door and feel it is like nothing else, every single day. It's magical.
So the hard thing about actually working with Claude is that she teaches you and everybody around you something every single day.
The relationship that I then get to have with them is feeling like I got the golden ticket. I get to sit with them and listen to them and watch them grow. That's like the biggest honor in the world.
So as of today, starting on Monday, we now have a Chief Heart Officer, all right? And that Chief Heart Officer is actually here. So I think we should grab our Chief Heart Officer.
Give me a break.
I think my favorite Claude moment was when she was introduced as CHO, because she had been here previously, obviously as an SVP, and when Gary introduced the name of the role, everyone kind of started to like buzz a little bit, and then as she rounded the corner and just like kind of like raised her hands in there, we were all like cheering for her. Just like that moment, knowing she was back and knowing in the capacity that she was back in was just, it was just really cool. We were all just so happy. People that hadn't met her before were confused, but knew that it was a special moment. So definitely the favorite moment for Claude.
I was on HR for a little over a year when Claude joined the team, and it was the best day ever when she did.
So all my experiences, I think, throughout the years and throughout studying and psychology and spirituality and all these things kind of started to create this soup, the kind of this minestrone soup of being passionate about people, wanting to unlock people, wanting to facilitate growth and change with people, and yet I was a strategist. I was understanding human behavior and how I could sell more toothpaste. I knew how I could sell more toilet paper. I understood how I could bring peace of mind to a mom in Italy with spaghetti sauce. But I needed more and more experiences working with people to understand how we all dive in the pool together, who swims this way, who swims that way, who's drowning, all of that stuff. So that's a long-winded way of saying that it took me a short lifetime to get here.
Claude's such a hybrid of understanding the business needs because she's already a king of that trade, a master of that trade, but she's also a master of reading people like Gary is. Like those two, along with several other people at this agency, can walk into a room, read what's going on, and understand what to do next in the middle of a conversation.
When I left Vayner, the reason I left is because all I wanted to do was be with people, build relationships, coach. I thought that maybe I would start my own coaching practice at 47 years old. I thought maybe I would go back to school and get my master's in social work. I didn't know that I'd end up as a Chief Heart Officer. I love it. It makes so much sense, so much sense. But throughout all of those years, I learned what listening does. I learned what empathy does. I learned that you absolutely need to take up space. You deserve to take up space. If you've been invited to that meeting, you're there for a reason. So speak.
I believe in people, and I see the good in the everyday. I build teams rooted in a generosity of spirit and a belief in possibility. I unlock people so that they can become their own champions, and I celebrate the little as well as the big victories. I believe that there is magic in every moment and that people need to be allowed to dream. Truly, I believe in that glimmer in a teammate's eyes, and I know how to push that glimmer until it becomes a full-blown smile.
But there's a give and take, there's a dance, and I think in all of these years I've learned what that dance is about, and now I'm at a place where I get to work with 700 people plus every single day. I get to work like that with Gary, and I get to work and grow and foster an amazing team that's just hungry. They're just sponges. And so it took a long time, but I'm here, and I wouldn't be any other place.
It's also so awesome to have a CEO and to have a boss who truly cares about the people within the walls. And I think that's what makes coming to work so worth it and so awesome.
You know, Claude is one of the few individuals that I've ever met in my life that makes me feel the way I feel. And so to create this position, which is more than Mark, more than AJ, more than James, more than Scott, more than Siegel or Mickey, to create a position that really is me, right? Like the scalable version of what I do with you guys one-on-one in those meetings, and to have the autonomy to make decisions that make no sense on paper, but make a whole lot of sense on heart. I want to build the best, greatest, let me phrase, we want to build the single greatest human organization in the history of time.
So I think when people are meeting with me, it's not to get Gary. They can get Gary. His door is completely open and he's available. I think they're looking for, why am I here? I think a lot of times people ask me what I do here. How did I get here? They're interested in maybe why an old fogey like me is running around with a bunch of millennials. I don't know, but I compliment him, I believe, by coming at situations in a slightly different way. Sometimes more emotional, sometimes more heartfelt, sometimes with a little bit more vinegar than honey. Sometimes calling them on their bullshit in a different way than he might. And sometimes I know that he's had a conversation with them which has been honey, so I'll come in and look at it with a slightly different slant to help someone or assist someone in getting to the answer or the answer that we'd like them to get to. On another level, I might need one answer for him, or he might need to tell me one adjective, and I know exactly the direction I need to take a conversation.
Gary and I speak all the time. We're in constant communication. And actually, we're two sides of the same coin, in lockstep when it comes to heart and hustle. I mean, we're really focused on creating the greatest honey empire of all time.
What I've learned from working with Gary is a completely different level of patience, a completely different level of accountability, a completely different level of humility. I've learned to let go of the 99% of stuff that you don't need and really focus on that number 1% North Star.
Together, Gary and I marry the heart and the hustle. I create the strategic direction for all things people, alongside Gary, who creates the strategic vision for all things business. And together with our team, we are building the greatest honey empire, fueled by people operating at the top of their game. Simply put, I'm in the people business. I touch anything and everything that has to do with the people at VaynerMedia and their experiences.
We'll take the car, drive all night. We'll get drunk, we'll go fishing, stay awake till she's gone home.